Sports are an incredibly valuable arena for our children to learn success strategies in their lives, to learn how to handle adversity, hard work in the pursuit of excellence, how to deal with both failure and success, how to put your team in front of yourself, to learn teamwork and sportsmanship and honesty and integrity. As long as sports are in the hands of appropriate adults, our kids' lives can be set up for success. But all too often, what happens is well-meaning adults, both coaches and parents, want to be helpful, want their kids to be successful, say and do things that create not only a lot of performance problems, but kill an athlete's love of their sport, hurts their self-esteem, and causes a premature dropout rate. There's some statistic that between the ages of 9 and 12, 75% of kids leave youth sports. And they do so because of the unhappiness and the pressure that comes from the adults that are involved in the sport. I'm Dr. Goldberg. I'm a sports performance consultant, and I work with athletes across every sport at every level, and I also train coaches and parents around the country. And I want to talk today about how to help your child feel and perform like a winner. And today what I'll do is I'll talk to you as a parent. Soon I'll be talking to the coaches. Now, most parents want two things for their kids. They want their kids to be happy, and they want their kids to be successful. Nothing pathological about those wants. The problem is, in wanting that for their children, they inadvertently say and do things that cause the opposite to happen, that cause a lot of unhappiness, that cause the child to feel a lot of stress, and then to suffer from performance problems. What's important for you to keep in mind as a parent, obviously you have a significant impact on your child, but you have a very important role to play on what I call the coach-athlete-parent team. And the way I look at it, you've got one of the most important roles, because I don't think a child can have a successful sports experience without parents involved actively, but doing the right stuff, playing their role on the team. Now, we know what the athlete's role is: to show up, to have fun, to listen to the coaches, to be coachable, to be educable, to be a good teammate, to work hard, all that good stuff. And if they don't do that, we can't have a successful experience. A coach's job, briefly, is to teach, to educate, to be supportive, to systematically and kindly push kids out of their comfort zone. I mean, really, good coaches teach two things: the love of hard work and the pursuit of excellence. So it's important that coaches get kids to do more than they think they can. And also, coaches need to catch kids doing things right. And they need to communicate. They need to communicate with the kids. They need to communicate with the parents. And they need to provide not just negative feedback, but positive feedback. And now we get to your role, the parent's role. And my feeling is this: if you want your child to be successful, if you want your child to go as far as possible in the sport, if you want them to feel good about themselves and really have a positive experience in sport, you have a very critical role to play. And I want to sum up that role talking about two specific parts of the role. And the first part is, your job is to love your child unconditionally, to love them in a way that has absolutely nothing to do with their sports performance. All too often, I watch kids, I hear from kids, I see this happen, where if the child has a bad performance, the parent is overtly nasty, hostile, ignores the child, is disappointed in the child, and makes them feel that way. Okay, and your job really around this is to love your child in a way that has nothing to do with their performance. They should not have to perform for your love and for your acceptance. This is absolutely key. Because if a child feels like their self-esteem and lovability is on the line every time they step up to serve, up to the plate to hit, up on the blocks to start a race, that is going to create the most powerful form of performance anxiety I know of. And I see this all the time, unfortunately. You need to be there for your child, and especially more when they're failing. They need you to be there. They need your support. So one part of your role as a parent is to be that support structure, along with, of course, supporting their health, making sure they get enough sleep, making sure they eat the right foods, they stay hydrated, all that good stuff. But the other key role, besides loving your child unconditionally in a way that has nothing to do with performance, is a non-role. And again, let me frame this accurately. If you want your child to excel, if you want them to feel good about themselves, to be happy, to go as far in the sport as possible, then one of your roles, key roles, is a non-role. And that means to not coach. One of the things I see that gets parents into the most hot water is when they get into coaching. And they coach before practice, they coach after practice, they coach in the car ride on the way to a game, and then they coach in the car ride on the way home. And even if you think you're accurate in terms of the feedback you're giving your child, you're wrong, because this is not your role. The coach's role is to push kids. The coach's role is to criticize and be supportive and to focus on what the child's doing wrong. Your role as a parent is to be supportive and to not coach. And lest you think that I might not be referring to you, what is coaching? Coaching is providing pre-game feedback, reminding your kids what they need to do, giving them technique feedback, giving them feedback after the games, filming them and having them sit down and watch the video and your assessment. And again, let me frame this. You could be right. You could technically be right, but because you're doing this, and this is not your role, you're absolutely wrong. Okay, so you can't coach, you can't tie your child's performance up with their lovability, with how well they do. And again, these are years of experience talking to you. My specialty is working with kids who have repetitive performance problems. And quite frequently, a lot of those performance problems are because of the outcome pressure that gets put on them by their parents. Pressure to beat other athletes, pressure to win. And paradoxically, when you focus your child on beating other athletes, they're more likely to choke and fall apart. If you pressure your child on outcome, needing to win, needing to PR, needing to qualify or get to a certain level, that's going to prevent them from actually getting there. One of the things I teach athletes all the time to avoid choking is you have to do two things concentration-wise. You have to keep your focus on what you're doing, not on everyone else, and you have to keep your focus in what's called the now, in the moment by moment through the performance. And when parents, meaning well now, because most parents have their heart in the right place, they do want to help their kids, but when parents focus a child on the outcome, and they're trying to build the child up, you can do this, you can win this, what ends up happening is it creates tremendous performance anxiety. And the same thing with getting athletes worried about outplaying a teammate or beating a certain opponent. So again, sports are a wonderful arena for your kids to learn success strategies that will follow them through their lives. And a lot of this is on you. You are the most powerful person in their lives. And to help them go in the right direction, to steer them in the right direction, your role is very simple. Show up, love your kids unconditionally, avoid coaching, avoid criticizing them. Leave that to the coach. If you have issues about them maybe not learning the right technique, talk to the coach. After the game, after the race, after the performance, when the coach has time and is open to talking to you. Now, if you like this video, sign up for my YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon. We'll let you know when new videos come out. I'd love your feedback. I'd love your requests for different topics. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.